Now we let's start how can create a RODC read only domain controller. Now we start server 2012 R2 two machine. One is ADC and one is SC1. SC1 is the domain, my domain machine. My domain name is avc.com, and other machine is ADC is the now create a domain controller RODC. Now at first we check my IP address, that we can see that properties, and right click the IPv4. Then we can see on 192.168.2.3 and my default gateway is 0, and my DNS server is 192 by default. Then okay, then we go, at first we install role. So at run server manager, go to tool, node, go to tool. Then we can see that no server install, and we can see the other that the dashboard that we can know role is installing. So go to the configure role and the other manager, and manager we can see that add role and feature, and add a role and feature, anyone is choice now. Then click right click, then click next. Then with the role basis feature installation, then click next and select the RODC server is name. My computer name is RODC, so that click next. Then we select the Active Directory domain service, click and add feature, then click next and click next to is requirement feature is needed, and that click next. And if we require the restart, then we default now. So at click install, that is processing. So it's a few time is my computer name is RODC, and we create a RODC domain controller machine. So let we going to the, so some few time we see that we can go to the my domain machine, that we see that run to the server. Then we can tool, then user and computer. Then we can see that my domain name avc.com, and we create a view. Test, and this group is under, we create a group, test group. Test group, that okay, and under the test group we create a user 3 ts, and configuration is ts. Now we next, and then click password setting, finish, we create. Now we add through the member group, name search test group. Okay, then if we go to the ADC machine, then we role is running now, role is installing, this process is running now. Then we go to the SCS, my domain machine, and we can go to the tool and see that's Active Directory domain service, and now we create a on site. Then when I installing the RODC, then we select the how can select a site, then we can view. So at first we can select a site, then we easily to describe that the then we create a site and go to the toolbar and choose the Active Directory site and service, then click, then we see that few times after few time we see that the create a site is no site is created. By default site is now right click and create a new site. The site name is Dhaka, then we click and OK, then click OK, is create a site, then we click is Dhaka, is default is created, then we go to the ADC machine, then is after completing the installation that close, then notification tab, then we click and configure that we can want to that added domain controller for the existing domain, and second we see that add a new domain to the existing forest. If we choose the existing forest, then we can select that child domain and tree domain now, and added a new forest. Now we create a domain and a new domain. So my purpose to create a RODC, so we can select that added a domain controller to the existing domain. So to write the name of my domain abc.com my domain. Now select and this is user, the administrator and password, my domain password and administrator, and we click abc.com is now OK. May change the RODC password. We can credential and deployment the RODC password username and password. Then we see that the other link, the administrator, then we click the next. Next we see that the domain is name is running is processing, so we can the special domain controller is capability of the notification. Then we see that domain name system DNS server and global catalog server, and we must be click when we read only domain controller. So we click, and if we choose the site name on site and default site name, and we create a site name is Dhaka site on the on my site of domain. So if we choose the Dhaka site, then Dhaka domain is only the read only domain site. So it is the default, or we choose that anyway, and other we create a DFS password. Now we configure set password. choose default, then click next, and we show the administrator account. We select now the administrator account is also replicate the RODC's account, the replicate the when the password is sent, so we can edit the account. We see that account name, the advanced setting, that we can find now that we create a test group, test user. Then we can, if you select the test, then it is control the ROTC password. Then we clicked that's okay. So the delegation of administrator, if we select the delegation of administrator of RODC, that is the built-in user. We then other the account of the built-in user of the RODC. If the built-in user is on the 5 and on the RODC, that we can see the built-in administrator, backup of server operator or backup operator, and the account operator. We see that and deny the RODC replication group. So this password cannot be replicated of the RODC. Then we select that and click to the next. If we select that, fine. Now that we select that, if we select that only on device remote access management and other not, and that team is select now, then we click OK, and that delegation of the admin of which administrator can control that. So that next, and installing is processing the specify the installation from the media of. Then we can choose the WinFM for the.com and any. If we choose the win abc.com, that replicate to the domain this server, and any domain, and can be read-only domain controller can be select that, can click that at last next, and that we can see that ATTS log and sysball. The database folder is C drive is default, by default is Windows and ATTS, and log file is default, and my sysball folder is default. We can see that. Then click the next, and we can view that we can view the total script, and we view the script, and that script is now saved now. We needed to next time that we clicked the next. Then we after few time we click that, after we that the all checking of the request is successfully, the read-only domain controller is installing. Now we see that to install the read-only domain controller, after few time it will be successfully installing, is processing. So it may be our network purpose, so we be late only 3 or 5 minutes. So in 5 time we again to try to see this how to install. After that few time we are about the sign out the successfully that clause, that we close that we close, and that automatic is restarting now when the installing the RODC, and we our RODC machine ADC machine is installed now. Installing is processing. Please wait a few time to installing is completing. Now it is installing is processing. We can see that the after installing is complete now, that we can go to the completing the sign in, and then we see that after successfully created the RODC read-only domain controller domain. Then we see that our server manager is run now. abc.com. After server manager is running, we can see that the DC ADC machine is showing the ADDS and DNS is now okay. Then we can click the toolbar tool. Then we go to the Active Directory user and computer. Then we see that ABC is the domain controller. Click now. We click the RODC machine is computer is the is read only domain controller catalog. So we can be created successfully the RODC domain controller. Then we go to that RODC and Windows is this is DC computer, and that we click then properties. That we see that computer of the server, the RODC and the DNS and the property system and member of RODC domain controller, delegation tab, dial in user, member of RODC ABC, and the password is the RODC is ABC, and trias is .com by default is set is managed now. So that we can other and GC that we can properties. Then we can see that differentiation of RODC and GC. So we can create a basic RODC's domain controller is installing. So thank you for watching.